First up, Boris Johnson staggers on, but his numbers are grim. 148 of his own MPs no longer have confidence in his ability to be Prime Minister. So are his days numbered? Well, joining me now, Talk TV contributor Adam Boulton, political pundit Marina Purkis, and Conservative writer Esther Cracker. Well, welcome. A stellar panel, if ever I've seen one. Adam Boulton is the big beast in the political jungle in our firmament tonight. Is he going to survive this, Boris Johnson? I wrote a very interesting piece by Danny Finkelstein in The Times, basically saying he shouldn't survive. I don't want him to survive, but he might survive.
And that was the counter to William Hague writing this morning that he thought he would definitely go.
Yeah.
I mean, my own feeling is, and I talked to a number of politicians today, the big divide is whether you think he'll make it to the next election or not as Tory leader. And I have to say the consensus, not everybody, the consensus is that he won't, because he's become a liability to his own party and has lost his charisma. Although, as Danny Finkelstein points out in the article, the closer you get to the election, the more traumatic it is for the party to get rid of him. So will he see Christmas, I think, is probably the question. And my suspicion is he probably won't.
There was a clip this morning when he addressed his cabinet, which I was struck by their faces, not his. His looked like he hadn't had any sleep. But this is what happened.
Thank you, by the way, everybody, for all your good work yesterday, because which was a very important day, because we were able now to draw a line under the issues that our opponents want to talk about.
It wasn't exactly a sea of ecstatic visages.
But it's the extraordinary thing, isn't it, to say we can draw a line under the issues our opponents want to talk about, i.e. my law-breaking and my bad behaviour.
Right.
I mean, it's not just his opponents, is it? It's the country. And I think that's the problem he's got, is that it still resonates with people.
And also, it's not just a clique group of rebels about one part of him. It's right across the board these rebels are coming from. And that would unsettle me if I was a leader, when there are all sorts of different reasons why people want him out.
Yeah, I think that's the case, although working for him is the fact that there isn't therefore an obvious challenger which they can come round, although Jeremy Hunt's put himself out there. But it just is this distaste, you know, the fact that the jokes don't really work anymore, or people have laughed themselves at the jokes to the point that they're exhausted with them. And that, I think, is his problem. But, you know, well, he might thank his cabinet, because I think if one cabinet minister yesterday came out and said, I can't put up...
I was waiting for one of them today to maybe grow a pair and...
Well, yesterday was the time to do it, and it would have gone, I think, by general agreement. Biggest hurdle for him. These by-elections, can't predict what's going to happen in by-elections. 2 losses will upset Tories, although people say that sometimes happens. But this Privilege and Standards Committee report, I mean, if the House of Commons votes to suspend the Prime Minister for lying...
Surely, even then, he would have to go, right? Marina, let's come to you. I want to play Jacob Rees-Mogg reacting to what went on.
Of course I accept this result, but the Prime Minister must realise that under all constitutional norms, she ought to go and see the Queen urgently and resign.
Now, that actually wasn't about Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
That was what he said about Theresa May, when she actually did better in her vote of no confidence. This is what Jacob Rees-Mogg said after Boris Johnson.
Should the Prime Minister resign?
Of course he shouldn't. He's a great leader. The country's lucky to have him.
And right there, you have the double standard of people like Mr. Rees-Mogg, who had a completely different opinion when it was Theresa May. What do you make of what's going on here? Should Boris survive?
No, he should not survive, although I'm quite enjoying watching him just tear his party to shreds. Rees-Mogg is one of these people he's a government minister who, let's be honest, like Dorries, like Patel, like Truss, wouldn't get anywhere near a sniff of a government position, a cabinet position, without Boris Johnson. Let's not forget, Theresa May's majority was 63% when she had her vote of no confidence. 63%, and those were the words of Jacob Rees-Mogg, damning. And yet, yesterday, Boris Johnson had 59%, and all of a sudden, he's given this third mandate, apparently. This is a third mandate. This is a convincing win. This is good for the country, apparently. Absolute nonsense, and they're just making themselves look like absolute idiots.
Essie, I mean, you're a Conservative. There's a battle going on for the heart and soul of the party right now, because if it's not Boris Johnson, who should it be, and what kind of party and what kind of manifesto should they be pursuing? Because a lot of people say to me, who are Tories, I don't really recognise anything very Conservative about this government.
Well, I mean, that started in 2019 with sort of the purge of the main faces and the typical talent within the Tory party. But I think Jesse Norman, said in his letter of no confidence, he stated it perfectly. It's not just about the Partygate, which was his reaction to has been completely shameless, right? I call Boris the powerhouse of shamelessness. But it's the Tory party doesn't have a vision. The Tory party is not a conservative party. It's not pro-business. It's not for low taxation. They show no fiscal discipline whatsoever. All these PPE contracts that went to all these sort of friends of the Tory party. It's very unconservative. And that's the main problem. It's not just the fact that Boris has effectively shamed the party with his behaviour. It's the fact that the Tory party doesn't have a vision and it's not a party anymore. And that's what should scare Conservatives. You may go into the next election and people don't even know what you are.